Education and Art Together program, also known as B.E.A.T, strives to build confidence, teamwork, cultural awareness, and respect. They accomplish this by providing access to new and exciting programs for urban youth in underprivileged communities. Some of their programs include Beat Rockers and Beat Breakers. Here now to tell us more about B.E.A.T is the co-founder, James Kidd. And James, good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Interesting acronym, B.E.A.T.
B.E.A.T, yeah.
But we're getting a lot done with
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So share a little.
So B.E.A.T is Bridging Education and Art Together. We're running 2 programs currently, all in the Bronx. We're in 3 schools. The first program that we launched 2 semesters ago is called Beat Breakers. And basically it's an after-school B-boy, B-girl program. Our program director is Ken Swift, probably one of the most iconic B-boys in the world today, living with us in New York, and he's the program director. He comes and teaches. And B-Boy Wack from the Breaks crew out in Brooklyn is the head instructor. So we're working together with the Breaks crew and also the Urban Assembly. We had a guest here earlier, unfortunately, the condition with his school. But we're working with 2 great schools right now. And the other program that we're running is called Beat Rockers, and we're at the Lavelle School for the Blind here in the Bronx. And we're basically teaching blind kids or kids with visual impairments how to beatbox. Which is a fantastic program. We just finished that last semester. Taylor McFerrin, he's our program director and lead instructor. Adam Mata, Chesney Snow, Kenny Muhammad, Masai Electro. Lots of beatboxers in the community have really rallied and come to support the program. It's been a fantastic program.
So students have an opportunity to really volunteer for this program.
It's not that they volunteer. With the Beat Breakers, with the B-Boy program, kids have to either write an essay or do some sort of video essay. What's really important is that we want to make sure that the kids are in the program really want to be in the program. So there is a filter process in terms of who gets to participate. And with Beat Rockers, we just we went up to the school, we did a performance, and whoever wanted to participate, we just included them. We had about 30 kids participate last semester.
What's it like to see students actually out there beatboxing? Because we know back in the day that was hot. And it's still hot today. Let's keep it real.
Right. Well, I think what's really important is that we're dealing with blind kids or blind students or students with visual disabilities. So what makes that so much more important, or what makes it different, is how these blind kids take in music. It's totally different the way that we take in music.
How do they take it in?
Well, audially, that's pretty much how they're taking in the world at all times. I was really surprised. The sort of inspiration from this program came when I was invited to go DJ at their school dance, and it was the first time I saw blind kids listen to music. It's crazy because it's pure ecstasy in terms of what they feel when the music hits them. What's also kind of funny is that they don't really know how to dance. A lot of them have never seen anyone dance, So when they're into the music, they're just so into it. Now for me, the light bulb went off, and I was like, wow, how can we introduce music to these kids? But I thought beatboxing was so much more empowering in the sense that the kids who are always told that they're disabled and they can't do things, what we did was flip that on their head, and we're like, you are able. You are totally able, and you don't need an instrument. You don't need anyone helping you. You don't need any equipment. All you need is yourself.
How was that received?
Amazing in terms of the kids' confidence and their ability to kind of look at themselves and be like, you know what, I can do this. And what we did was, or what happened was, the music became another form of dialogue. So these kids are now beatboxing with each other. Some of them sing, some of them rap, some of them play piano. We invited all the kids to come and kind of play to their strengths, but the kids now were communicating with music, which was something that, is really hard to do. Let's say if you're blind or visually impaired, you can't really get on a piano, and someone has to maybe get on, or if someone wants to assemble an instrument from you or whatever. But in terms of beatboxing, and it's kind of where hip hop is rooted, in the sense that it's just like, well, hey, we don't have much, but we can do this. And in terms of them being able to self-express themselves, we wanted to empower them by teaching them that skill.
What do you feel they're getting out of this? Because obviously it's more than just music.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that you bring that up. A lot of the kids have, especially at the Lavelle School, they have multiple disabilities. So they're blind, but they have other stuff going on. Whether it be physical, whether it be cognitive. Some of them are not verbal. In a real incredible happy accident that we stumbled upon was, we had one of the school speech therapists sitting in class with us. And what we realized is that some of the sounds that we're having the kids make in beatboxing class and Beat Rockers class, the speech therapists are trying to have these kids make the same sound, but they're not really doing it in speech therapy. But when you put it in the context of music, the kids will make the sounds. So what's really, incredible in terms of, music, and it's empowering, but now we're trying to develop a specific curriculum where maybe we can use beatboxing to help kids communicate. So that was, something that we sort of discovered, but in terms of how can this program provide more than music, there's a real practical way that we can introduce a better communication skills through beatboxing.
Kind of get the sense from talking to you that you took this on, had a little idea that just morphed into something a whole lot more than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
What's that like for you?
It's been a really incredible sort of like short journey, and I feel like we're just kind of starting. I think what's really important is that we brought in the best teachers into the fold, and the teachers, now that they've had a semester with the kids, understand the impact that we're making with the school and with these kids. So what we're trying to do now in terms of next steps is develop a very sort of well thought out, meticulous curriculum. Now I want to take this curriculum and I want to be able to share it. And I feel like that's where the program becomes really powerful. We have this in New York and it's really great, and this is within our communities. I'd like to take the curriculum and give it to a beatboxer in LA or in London or in Paris or in Seoul and be like, hey, there are blind kids in your community. There are blind schools in your cities. Like, maybe you can take this, and you, being a beatboxer, can, teach these kids what we taught our kids,
We talked about beatboxing back in the day, how popular it was, and so, but it's very popular in other areas around the world. Share with us where beatboxing is really hot.
Right now, it's funny, like, the Europeans and Asians, once they get a hold of hip-hop, I feel like they kind of run with it. Right now, I think in Europe and especially in Asia, those two like regions of the world, and b-boying as well, they take it to a whole other level, and it's really incredible to see what they take a very distinctive American art form and what they're able to do with it. Same with b-boying. And I want to talk about the b-boying too, because I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, I'll let you share about the b-boying.
Number one, Ken Swift is, he is such a prominent figurehead in the b-boy community. And I'm an event producer, so that's sort of how we met, and we went on tour last year. What I realized was, going on tour, how receptive the rest of the world is to b-boying. And what I realized was that in New York City, in the Bronx, where all this was born, there was no real access for kids in the community to learn authentic b-boying. I mean, you can go take a hip-hop dance class or something, but in terms of really learning what b-boying is, what it means, where it's from, what hip-hop means, we're so, in the process, we're not just teaching kids how to dance. I feel like there's a whole social history that's really important that the kids really don't know about. If you ask a kid what hip-hop is now and what they're listening to on the radio, it's totally different from where it really came from. And you need someone like Ken Swift, who's a statesman, who really he's real in terms of being a b-boy. So the kids get so much more than just a dance class. They get a real incredible social perspective in terms of what hip-hop is, where it came from, what it means now, and why all that's important.
These guys had a final project, and they're able to really showcase their stuff.
Right.
Take us through the final project, and what's that like?
Oh, it's great. So the program is about 12 weeks. What we do is the first 6 weeks is that we just teach kids the basics, and they learn how to they learn how to dance, they learn how to uprock, they get on the floor. And then the last 6 weeks, the kids really focus on doing like a 5-minute showcase, and then they do it in front of their parents, in front of their peers. It's a really incredible process to watch these kids, because a lot of the kids are kind of a little hesitant. They see it on TV. They don't really know what it is. A couple kids in particular who were a little shy, didn't really know, didn't really have a lot of confidence in terms of like going out there and dancing. But by the end, and you watch these kids and they ripped it when they did their final performance. The difference is night and day in terms of these kids being confident and just sort of having a little bit of swagger and a little bit of flavor and a little bit of style. At the end of the day, that's what b-boying is all about. It's not how technically proficient you are in doing these moves. It's really about, what kind of style do you have? What kind of flavor do you bring? So it's really incredible to see the kids who are going through the program and what they take away from it. Again, it's not just, I learned how to dance in this program. It's really about, I learned that it's important to have style. It's important to be me, and this is how I'm going to express me.
Now, and after the program's over, there is an opportunity to move on to another advanced level?
Well, the teachers have been teaching for so long. I mean, these b-boys are real b-boys. Like, this is what they do for a living. So it's really, I put it on the strength of the teachers to take kids who have maybe had a couple semesters in, to work with them separately and maybe have them develop more advanced moves. At the same time, we could take kids who have never learned how to b-boy and then, kind of do the basics So it's an all-encompassing class. Whether you have a couple semesters experience or not, we can plug you in terms of making a cohesive sort of showcase at the end of the semester.
B.E.A.T is Bridging Education and Art Together, and for people who want to find out more information?
Right now, I think we have a website, beatnyc.org, but almost just as importantly, right now we have a Kickstarter campaign going, which ends next week. So if you go to Kickstarter.com and you enter B.E.A.T Rockers, you can see our spot, you can see the work that we've done with the kids, and you can also help contribute to keep the program going.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to share with us.
Thank you.
Keep the beat going.
Thank you.